Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. This is a very special show that I'm doing today. My name is Alicia Khoury, and this is Inspiring Stories of Triumph. And I'm so excited to do this interview tonight because this person is just absolutely phenomenal. Welcome, everybody. If you're joining me here for the first time on Facebook, hi, everybody. If you're joining on YouTube, hi, YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go over to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/c/Alicia Khoury. So you can go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of our live or pre-recorded shows. And also, I want to invite you, if you're joining and you have not yet joined our Living with Audacious Confidence group on Facebook, I want to invite you to join that group because it's all about living not just to your highest potential, but just living life without fear, without limitations, like really stepping boldly into your life, living the life of your dreams. And my guest tonight is living his life without limitations. And I'm just so in awe of him. I've met him just a few weeks ago. It hasn't even been that long. I met him a few weeks ago. I think it was early December on a call for the city of Pompano Beach. And we connected and we got to know each other after that. But it's so strange because he is here in South Florida, but he lives in Thailand. So he was just here because of the pandemic, and we got to connect, and he is super special. And I'm so excited to have him on board with me tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Brian Dittrich. Brian is such an inspiration. I'm trying to even keep it together as I talk about him. But in 2008, in March of 2008, he was in a car accident where he spent 3.5 weeks in a coma, and he woke up paralyzed. He saw a note at the bottom of his bed saying, "Keep moving forward." And he took it to heart. And since then, that is exactly what Brian has been doing. He has been moving forward. He has been living his life. Sorry, what am I saying, Brian? Chris, sorry. Chris, he's yelling at me. Chris, Brian Dittrich, sorry. I'm like I said, I'm just so excited to have you on. I'm fumbling over my words. But Chris is survived a traumatic brain injury, and he didn't just survive it. He has been thriving in such a remarkable way. And that is why I really wanted to have him on the show today to share his journey with you. So I would like to welcome to the show, Brian Dittrich. You know that Brian really always messes me up because I always see that first when I see name.
Sorry, it's Chris.
It's Chris because it's on Facebook. Chris Brian Dittrich.
I'm proud that I have you fumbling over your words already. And we are just getting started. I'm very proud. I take that to heart. So thank you very much for the kind introduction.
You're very welcome. It was really fortuitous for us to meet.
Certainly during the mayor's call.
The mayor's call. I had never joined before. He invited me to join.
My first one as well.
It was your first one as well. And we kind of private messaged each other over Zoom. And then we connected after that and we've been kind of chit-chatting ever since. You've been a great supporter of me on Instagram. So thank you.
Certainly. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. This is awesome.
Yeah. So I want you to go back a little bit to the morning before the morning of the accident.
Mm-hmm.
You were a high school student getting ready for graduation.
Yes.
And you had, obviously, as every high school student, senior, had a life or at least plans for what you were going to do next once you graduate. So what was that like for you?
So so everyone knows I'm from Princeton area, New Jersey, and growing up, I did well in school. I was excited to go to a top university, probably do well. I mean, I'm confident in myself, do well in school, and then end up working in New York City or something of the sort. Had a ton of friends, was an athlete in high school, just playing sports all the time, just activities. And so March 3rd, I believe it was a Monday morning, and I was speeding. I was trying to beat my friends to Taco Bell, I believe, not that it matters now.
Yeah.
And my car flipped out of control, and I hit my head really hard, the left side of my head. And I spent the next 3.5 weeks in a coma. And then slowly, gradually came out of the coma and into a vegetative state. And then I can't even really remember the day or the time or anything. It wasn't like I just snapped to it like in storybooks.
Right.
But, again, from what I could remember, there was a sign in front of my bed with, Chris, today is such and such a date. You suffered a traumatic brain injury on March 3rd, 2008. We are here. We're in New Jersey. We're in the hospital. These are the colleges you were accepted to that hopefully you'll be able to go to. And then again, like you mentioned, at the bottom of the board, there was a keep moving forward sign. And I was not moving yet at all. As you mentioned, the right side of my body was paralyzed, so I couldn't really do much other than be wheeled around in the wheelchair, just trying to get any kind of movement on my right leg and my right arm. And so I wasn't really certain what keep moving forward meant when I couldn't move at all. But finally, I was able to start moving my ankle, start rotating my ankle, lifting my knee up and down. And so I started to learn that keep moving forward meant just keep going, just do something, do whatever you can to start to improve yourself, to get better. And I have taken that to heart even now, almost 13 full years after my injury, still to, like this morning, still to be improving and walking the best that I have in almost 13 years. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to show a clip of that in a minute, but
eventually, yeah.
What I wanted to ask is, as an athlete and someone who is really active, when you woke up, do you remember how you felt? Like, were you confused? Was it like, why can't I move?
Fortunately, my family was with me from the beginning. I was never alone. So I never really had that feeling of despair, I guess, or like, what's going to happen? It was always, let's go. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I'm laying here on the bed and I can't do anything, and that's not going to make me better. That's not going to get me better. So that was the mindset from the beginning. It was my family's mindset, my father's in particular. And again, thankfully, I took that to heart and I took that to mind as my brain was redeveloping. That's all that I thought. So that's what it was. It was never, oh my gosh, I can't play sports. I can't do this. I can't do that. I mean, certainly I'm not happy. I'm disappointed that I couldn't do that at the time, but I wasn't going to be able to start doing that just by feeling bad for myself.
Right, exactly.
Makes sense. The only way that I was going to get better was if I was spending all my time in therapy, spending my time getting better.
And focusing on getting better.
Exactly.
Positive attitude. I love it.
Yeah. So after 3 months, I was able to leave the hospital. My brain I suffered much more physical injuries than cognitive injuries. My memory wasn't great, but I was starting to come back mentally, so I didn't need to stay in the hospital anymore. I was getting, therapy could only be 2 hours a day, and even the cognitive rehabilitation therapy speech therapy was an hour. I ended up dropping speech therapy and adding an additional hour of physical therapy. Because that's what was most important to me. Thankfully, many people with brain injuries suffer it more on the cognitive side. Mine was a much more so physical injury. And I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school. I was ready to go to college. I wanted to get better.
Right.
And I wanted to be able to go to college. Exactly.
That was that. Yeah. And you made the decision actually to go to college away from your home.
Yeah, I had to spend that additional year at home, and again, I love both my parents dearly, but I needed to get away. You know, one of the positive, what I believe to be one of the positive consequences of my injury, I need new. I need new experiences or atmospheres, people to stay focused. I guess it's not a good thing. It would be better if I could just deal with in an office and things like that, but or just the familiar. But I knew I had to go to a new city and explore the world on my own. So
Hmm.
that's how I ended up in Miami, and
Wow.
I'm thrilled that I did.
Wow. So coming here, living on your own, because you were living on the dorms,
Yeah,
right? And what was that experience like only a year after having your accident? Now you're living on campus by yourself.
I had worked really hard in that year that I took off in outpatient therapy. My goal was to make it to college with no wheelchair and no cane. And I was so proud of myself, my family, my father, so proud of me that I made it. And I had underestimated how difficult it would be. You know, it was
Yeah.
August. It was August in Miami, and UM's campus is not huge, but it was much bigger than anything I'd been dealing with. And it was so humid and it was hot. It was awful. It was
Well,
very
it's a lot of
challenging.
walking. It's
Exactly, yeah,
campus, but there's a lot of walking.
exactly, and I hadn't planned for it to be as challenging. So I started to adapt, and that's the biggest thing that, you know, I started to ask people for help. I learned how to approach people and ask them for help, and being able to ask them for the most random requests, and being able to do it in a not like, what the hell is this guy doing coming to me like this, you know? And um, the yeah, I would hitch rides from people. I remember that one of the Miami's basketball players, a kid named Cyrus. We were on the public school bus together, and I was trying to convince the driver, speaking whatever Spanish I could have spoken to this driver who was only speaking in Spanish. Oh, I need to go over there. I need to go there. I know that's not your route, but please take me there. I need to go. It's too far for me. And this nice guy Cyrus just said, "Hey, Miami senior, hey Chris, just come with me. I'll give you a ride, man. Just leave this lady alone, please." Yeah. Um, so I learned that people are naturally good if you give them the opportunity to help. Then most of the time they're going to help you out as well.
Wow,
So that certainly helped me in my first couple of years down in Miami.
that's great.
Yeah.
And and you graduated.
Yes, I was able to, again, I was able to not only stay in Miami, I was able to study abroad. I was able to go overseas and experience life in my
Another
first couple of years after my injury, which is fantastic.
So
And,
I want to, because we talked about this a couple times before,
yeah,
about how you were able to, um, when people came up to you and you'd start talking to them like you didn't know them, and they'd say, "Hey, we met, but we met already."
yeah,
Listen, this happens to everybody.
yeah,
Um, you know, when we don't remember somebody, but you created a way um, to remember people, or at least seem like you remembered
yeah,
people.
make it
Tell me
seem
about
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I think it happens to everyone, and that's what people will tell me, like, "Oh, Chris, it's not so bad." Like, most of them just so I wouldn't feel bad when I didn't remember them. But I would have like full conversations with these people, and then I think like the next day I would come up to them again like a total stranger. Like,
Because you were still struggling with your short-term
my
memory,
short-term memory at the time was very poor. Yeah, and
but not
so
51st dates poor.
no, not fortunately not 51st dates poor, but it wasn't good. And sometimes I could remember a face, but I couldn't remember that we had like a full heart-to-heart kind of conversation, that I opened up my soul to these people, and then like so what I would do again in adaptation, that I would approach everyone like they're my good friend already. Even if I don't know you, Miss Alicia Curry, I'm going to make it seem like we're best friends.
Well, you surely did make it seem like we were best.
So even if we don't know each other, I can just play it off like I'm a friendly guy, and it worked out. I made a ton of friends at Miami because of that. But if I did know you and I just didn't remember, I became good at picking it up from, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it worked. Again, another adaptation that have stuck with me through now 10 years post graduating, which is pretty awesome. Yeah.
And it's worked for you overseas as well.
Yeah, it again, after graduating with a degree in finance, I started working for a banking institution in South Florida. And back to the needing new experiences and atmospheres, I was stuck in an office for 10 hours a day, and it was making me go crazy. So rather than continuing to stick the square peg in the circular hole, I went back to school to get my master's degree in hotel management, playing off of my ability to have conversations, to approach people, to start conversations with people, to build relationships on the guest service side, on the guest relations side, that I would be able to have a unique ability to start a friendship with somebody or make it seem like we're best friends, even if I'm just meeting you.
Awesome. So I just want to share with everyone, if you're just joining us, you're watching Inspiring Stories of Triumph with me, Alicia Curry, and my guest tonight is Chris Dittrich.
Chris
Dittrich. Sorry about that. Chris Dittrich, and he is a traumatic brain injury thriver. You know, he has taken this occurrence in his life, this event. It was this one event in his life, and has completely, what is the word I'm looking for, Chris? You're good at words. He has completely transformed.
I'm proud because I've made it work. I've made the most. I've used everything to my advantage.
Your advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. That
it's not like you sat back and said, well, this has happened to me. I'm not going to be able to go to school anymore. I can't play sports. You know, I'm going to be stuck in a wheelchair the rest of my life. No. And not only did you not do that, you decided to live abroad, travel the world, and not look at your disability as a disability.
Yeah, thank you. I again, playing off in my brain injury, I need new stuff. So again, rather than trying to do the same thing, and like prior to my injury, the goal was work in New York City, work in an office, make a lot of money, you know, what a lot of people want to do. I knew it wouldn't work for me. And even if I was able to stay in the office, I just wouldn't have enjoyed it. So I took advantage of my new brain, and I decided to play off of it and enjoy. And I was confident in myself that I would be able to make everything work. You know, when I went to study in Beijing, that again, I badly underestimated. That seems to be a running theme. I badly underestimated the amount of walking and the amount of physical effort it would take, and I wasn't nearly prepared like I thought I was. But I made it work. You know, I had to drop the class, and I stayed in Beijing by myself. But it ended up being the most amazing 2 weeks. You know, I made relationships with people. I built friendships, and people again are willing and able to help as long as you give them the opportunity to. And with that, after I succeeded with that, I built the confidence in me that I needed to attack and to push the limit again and go for the next thing, you know. And it's kind of kept that way to today, where I'm able to live proudly been in Thailand now for 4 years.
Yes. And that is what living with audacious confidence is all about. Like not looking at any limitations, but being able to overcome them by just moving forward, just going for the next thing.
Exactly. Just keep trying and don't focus on the negatives or the things that could go wrong. Think of all the great things that could go right.
Yeah.
If if I can try and if it works, then it's going to be fantastic. And if it doesn't work, then if it doesn't go as great as I thought, then then I'll be able to find another way to make it happen.
So you sent me a video today that I want to show. You want to set that up a little bit? I know you have narration for it and everything, but just set it up a little bit for me.
Yeah, so on June 20th, 2008 was my high school graduation, was the first official, I guess, like my coming back party is what I coined it in
that was 3 months?
Sorry?
That was 3 months after.
It was just over 3 months after my injury, and I had set the goal that I wanted to be able to walk across the stage to pick up my high school diploma, and it was obviously not walking like walking, but it was just something that I wanted to do to show, because I was a student council vice president. I was well known in my school. My entire family was. It's a small town, so everyone knew about my injury, and so I wanted to show people that I was going to be okay, that I was going to do it. And at that point, I don't think I really got the magnitude, that looking at me now. Back then, I never really, Megan is my friend. Thank you, Megan.
Hi, Megan. Thank you.
I never really got the magnitude, I guess, of how serious my injury was, but that helped me, because I always thought I could do more than I guess I could. Right. So I walked across that stage, or I limped, as you'll see in the video, and that was my first, I guess, formal walk. The one that got shown off to the world. And I took a walk then this morning, and the best I've walked in almost 13 years. It's really incredible. And I kind of put them together, and it's a really cool, motivating thing to show the difference.
Yeah, so let's take a look at that really quickly.
It has been 4,574 days between these two videos at the top and the bottom. I'm proud to say that I've made an effort to improve every single one of these days. It hasn't mattered where in the world I've been. I wake up every single day with the same drive and a growing fire to achieve, to improve, to be a guide for others, and to further enhance my life. I get more excited for the future every day. I can see it. I can feel it. I'm optimistic and confident that my ever-recovering brain won't let me down. I will continue to experience progress and, in turn, the unabated joy progress brings with it. Find any bright spots from this really challenging year. Pride yourself on any and all accomplishments, both big and small. Latch on to good feelings from 2020 and use them all to your huge advantage for 2021. You can do it. I urge everyone to push forward with me to make next year collectively our best year yet. Keep moving forward. So it gives me goosebumps. It's amazing. It's really cool. I'm really proud of that, which is great.
It is remarkable because you woke up 2.5 months after the accident, and then this is like a month and a half from then.
That
you walked across the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's remarkable.
Thank you. Right. Yeah, it's again, it wasn't a great walk, but it set the stage for the future. Exactly. That's how to put it. Yeah.
And then look at you booking it today.
Oh yeah, right. Exactly. And again, I'm really proud that, my shoulders are the most level that they've been. It looks almost back like everybody else. And that's the really cool thing, that I have that in the background. And again, seeing that kind of a video, that's what gets me moving forward more, because I know how much more I can still achieve, and that like a year from now, I'll look at the video that I'm playing on the bottom that I just took. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's what I thought was the best I've ever done. I mean, I'm so much better now,
Yeah, yeah.
which is really cool, and it keeps me motivated.
Because you are your own competition. Like you are your own benchmark
Yeah.
for how well I can do. And I have one other video that I want to show. And this is you drinking out of a cup.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right,
So that one, the one on the right.
yeah, the one on the right was just in October. I was in Denver, Colorado for work. That's why I went with the beard was very long. It was my Denver beard. If I looked like that. That was the idea. And I was so excited because that video, it was the first time that I've been able to drink out of a coffee cup with my right hand since prior to my injury. And you could see how excited I was. And then 2 months later, now that I've done it once, that video looks like it could have been forever ago because it was so much better now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very exciting and fantastic. Yeah, and it makes me ready to continue pushing forward, despite it's been so long since my injury, to still be experiencing the improvement and the joy that comes with improving and the pride that I feel because of it is really cool and really nice.
That's excellent. So the motor skills, were you right-handed before?
Yeah, and I'm still technically right-handed. That never changes.
That never changes, right?
Yeah. And by now I would be left-handed, I guess, because I can do everything lefty. I can throw and things like that, but I still have a tremor in my left arm, which is very frustrating when it comes to handwriting and things. But I've been able to. I've got a MacBook, and the Macs are fantastic computers for typing with one hand because they have sticky keys, so I'm able to type and do everything just with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the brain is a fantastic tool, especially my injury was when I was 18. You're able to develop, you're able to work around everything very well. So I need to focus to keep my right hand engaged. And so it's really cool when I'm able to do fine motor tasks like picking up a coffee cup and not spilling the hot coffee all over me, because it motivates me to want to use my right hand more. And anyone with a brain injury or anything of the sort will know that you have to use it more. That's how you regain function. You use it or you lose it.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's really cool. Yeah.
Really cool. And how many languages do you speak now?
English, and then Mandarin is my next best language, then Spanish because I was living in Miami. And then another talent from my injury, another of the many positive consequences, I remember how words are spelled very well. So I'm able to listen to other languages and break them down phonetically and spell them in English, phonetically in English. And I don't forget how those, how it sounds. So again, I'm not fluent in any other languages, but I can speak 7, 8, 9 languages off the cuff. Like I've got a little running dictionary in my head, and it made it great in the hotel industry or just internationally because you meet so many people from different countries. And me, Mr. Prototypical American that no one expects to speak anything but English, when I ask them where they're from and if they're Chinese, oh, ni hao, ni jintian zemiang. Hi, nice to meet you. How are you today? And then I can flip into Japanese. Oh, onomai wa nani desu ka? Yeah. Hajime today. How are you today? What's your name? Nice to meet you. And the best one is my family, we went on a safari in Tanzania back in 2013, and I learned a lot of Swahili while I was there.
Wow.
And so everyone in Tanzania and Kenya, they all speak fluent English, but their first language or their mother language is Swahili. So being able to speak Swahili with people in the hotel in Bangkok, for example, when they come in and I ask, oh, where are you visiting from? They say, oh, I'm from Kenya or Tanzania. And I know their language is Swahili. And I say, oh, habari yako leo, jina lako nani? Which is, oh, how are you today? What's your name? In Swahili. I mean, it's a really cool kind of party trick. And that it helps me to connect with people. So when I need help or if I ever need help, they're quick to jump. And just more than that, it's just building the relationships and building friendships with people, which is fantastic.
I love your story. I love your story. And you have moved out of the hotel industry somewhat, and you have a startup that you're working with,
yes,
some other folks with.
Yeah, it's called UBB, Unique Bavarian Brewery. I've gone the beer route, the craft beer brewing industry. And it's cool because, again, I studied finance in college, but I didn't want to be in an office. So I went into hotel management, but I went more on the guest service side because that's what I enjoy. But when I was working in the hotel, I was doing a little bit too much just fluff. I mean, I didn't take any education for me to just be talking smack. Really good at just talking a really good game and getting people to write reviews online. I wasn't getting the same kind of fulfillment that I used to get. So this getting a startup gig is kind of a combination of everything. I will be doing more client relations once we get to the next stage, but I'm doing finance. I'm doing management more on the much more so accountable. And the roles are changing, which is the perfect thing for me with my brain injury. So when I'm talking to my boss, my partners, that it's flipping around at a rapid rate. Every day is different, and that's what I really need in order to stay engaged. Yeah, because the mundane, it scares me now. Yeah, that's what's been. I've gotten much better physically when I've been. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta charge my computer. I'm gonna run out of charge. I'm so sorry.
Uh-oh.
One second. We're gonna make our way. We're still gonna talk and do it all together.
Okay.
Right?
Plugging away there. Plug away.
But,
hey, Ali. Thank you so much. Ali says hi.
Thank you for joining us, Ali.
Yeah. So do you ever, I love your attitude, but do you ever feel like people don't get it?
All the time. Yeah. Unfortunately. So the best example is, I will go out of my way to, when I'm meeting somebody new, sometimes, if I like them, if I think, sorry to be changing, please. Can you still see me okay?
Okay. She said, welcome to technology. She is a technology guru.
Yeah. We're changing everything up. We got to get closer to the outlet. Can you see me okay? Are we okay? Please. I'm very sorry.
That's okay. We're wrapping up soon, so we won't be that high for long.
Sorry, one moment. Can I leave the camera for one moment?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll just reintroduce you. So do you. So we're here with Chris Dittrich. This is a new series that I'm starting. I don't know how often I'm going to do it, but I'm always fascinated by people's story of triumph, like some things that they've gone through and how they continue to not just survive, but thrive against all odds. And so if you know anybody or you want to share their story, if you want me to share their story, please, just connect with me on the bottom. It is Alicia360.com. Send me a note and let me, connect with them to to come on just to talk about their story. And so I'm bringing Chris back on. He's all plugged in and ready to go.
No, got more juice than ever. Feeling better.
More juice. Keep moving forward. That's
we still have the Christmas decorations in the back, so
yeah.
But
so yeah, you were talking about, you know, the people don't get it, and you
yeah, and if I am going through, I'm just trying to, sorry. If I'm going through and telling you all my story about all my successes living in overseas, things like that, and the first thing that comes out of somebody's mouth is, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you," that's when I know they missed it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I talk about how, oh, it was so bad, I was in my injury, it was in a coma, whatever, I tend not to bring all that up necessarily. I say, oh yeah, I suffered an injury a while ago. But if the first thing that comes out is, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, I mean, that's not the point, you know, because then it makes it out to seem like I'm asking people for sympathy, which I never.
Right. To pity me, which
exactly.
You have never. Yeah. It seems like you have never even invited that in.
Yeah, and it's again, it's good that I haven't. It's good that that's not. Fortunately, something that I need is pity. I prefer people to be proud, to be excited, to be motivated, you know, and that's why I've spent the time since I've been back here since March 24th. I know the exact date and probably the exact time if you push me on it, that I got sent back here from Thailand back here to the States because of the virus pandemic. I've really found a good niche being able to help people, or being able to start to share more of me and what I've been fortunate to overcome, what I've worked to overcome, and what I go through on a daily basis, because I believe, or I hope, that I'm able to help people out, to push other people forward using my attitude of keep moving forward, of using everything that's happened in your past, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but using that feeling as motivation, as further fuel. If it was something bad, if it was something good, use that good feeling as fuel to keep pushing further, to make that good thing happen, make you feel that good feeling more often. And if it's something bad, use that bad feeling as even more fuel. Don't forget about it. Use it.
Yes.
To keep that bad feeling from happening again. And I think a lot of people have taken that pretty well, and there's a great brain injury community and just injured community online that has helped to motivate me as well. Mm-hmm. Because I've certainly worked harder because I want to be able to share my successes with other people. Yeah.
The mantra, keep moving forward, that your dad had written at the bottom of that. My
mom wrote it, for what it's worth. My mom wrote it, but she has better handwriting. Yeah, but yeah, I want to make sure I give my mom a shout out too.
Give your mom a shout out.
She's great as well. But yeah, it was my father's kind of thing, and I've been fortunate to have that stick with me still to this day. Where again, that video gives me goosebumps now. It used to be just the other video, the graduation video itself gave me goosebumps, because I had set that goal early and I had worked to achieve it, and I did achieve it. But now it's more like, oh my gosh, I've done so much more since then. And like, it's cool. It's exciting because I know what comes next will be even more, which is cool, which is great.
Yeah. Nothing slows you down or stops you, not even the virus, because you are on a plane in a few days.
We're going back to Thailand, barring I had my last COVID test this morning. I'm feeling great, so I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen. And then I'm going to Washington, D.C. to visit my sister tomorrow, then fly out of D.C. Tuesday night and arrive in Bangkok 24 or 30 hours later, a long trip.
Yeah.
And very excited to see my friends there, because I'm doing, again, much better than I was doing when I was there back in March. And, you know, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool when I see friends or family for the first time in a number of months, because on a day-to-day basis, you don't always see or feel the improvement. Myself, that's why I'm so apt to take photos and take videos, especially because you can compare it to yourself instead of on a day-to-day basis where you don't pick it up. You know, my dad, who's been with me, I've been staying at my dad's place, you know, he's obviously seen me improving, but it's different. Like when I go back to Asia, that my friends, I'm so excited to see my friends, my good friends for the first time, and them
Almost a year.
yeah, then them hopefully being like, wow, like
Yeah.
incredible the improvement, you know, which is which
It's
then will, it's a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy that then that will continue to push me to want to do more and more and more. So there will be
absolutely,
no lack of motivation, which is really
absolutely.
cool.
It's like pregnancy. You don't see day to day how big your belly's getting until until
I don't know about that, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But it is. I mean, like,
but yeah, I guess I can imagine that it's a very similar kind of
like
feeling.
nothing, 8
Yeah,
weeks, a little bump,
yeah,
12 weeks, a little bit
right.
bigger.
Yeah.
But when you look back from
Interesting analogy,
yeah,
interesting way of comparing, but yes, sure. If
yeah,
that is,
sure.
yeah,
I've been through it 3 times, yeah. So,
yeah,
like, yeah, you don't really see it that gradual change every single day, but when you look from 1 month to the next, you can see, wow, something
yeah,
did
right.
some and
Exactly.
it's so amazing that you continue to improve. You continue to motivate yourself to improve and have this desire to
Oh,
be better always.
right. It's an important thing that, you know, other people sharing their like feeling for me, things like that, that means so much, but in the end, it's only me who has to deal with myself.
Mhm.
You know, especially someone like my father who is there since day one and is with me, but it's my body. It's I'm the one who has to continue to improve if I want my life to improve. I have to continue to work, continue to try if I really care about my life improving. If I'm upset, if I'm ever upset, what's being upset going to do? Nothing. It's getting away from that light.
I
Sorry.
know the light.
Yeah, it's a bad light. Yeah, all right, there.
Okay.
It's the only way I'm going to make myself feel better is if I get better, and the only way I'm going to get better is working to continue to improve. It's a big thing for me that what's the point of dwelling or trying to get people to feel bad for you? And if you have that person, a significant other, who is feeling bad for you, that's nice, but in the end, it's you who is going to be the one who has to work, has to live with it, with whatever, however good physically I get. It's me, and I take that to heart, and that's why we keep going.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah,
I love it, love it, love it. Well, I am so blessed and so thankful to have you in my life. To
thank you.
correct my spelling when I when
Well,
I
yeah, correct your spelling and get my name correctly. So
and
I'll
to get your name correctly.
correct you on the name calling and stuff like that, but it's okay. I forgive you. It's a
Thank
tough
you.
start, but again, I felt proud that I was flattering you. I felt flattered that I was making you leave.
Making me fly. You were like
Yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah,
so
you were flustered.
I
Just
was so
thinking about
flustered. I wanted to get to this
it.
story so much that I was calling you by the wrong name.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I forgive you.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't even have a brain injury.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that is your advantage over me, by the way,
What? What
that
did I?
your mind is so sharp.
Oh, yeah. That in some ways, and again, it's all about um, playing up what you're better at, what you're good at. It's
Yeah.
again because other people with injuries, they might not be as fortunate, or it's just that it's tougher for some other people, but it's important that everyone can recognize what they are good at and play up their strengths rather than constantly be upset about their weaknesses. You know what I mean? I would not go out and say my short-term memory is a strength. It's obviously much weaker than it used to be, or was at some point very weak. But rather than
Dwell
on that and worry about it, you find ways to work around it, and
Mm-hmm.
you become the most friendly person in the world. So other people don't realize that you have no idea who they are, and you just pretend that, oh yeah, you're my good friend. Let's have this conversation. 5 more minutes. I'll get your name eventually. I'll introduce you to somebody else, and I'll find out
Exactly.
your name.
Well,
Um,
you play
yeah,
it off, find a way
yeah,
to make it work.
exactly. Yeah, I'll find a way. So, yeah, that certainly I'm better at some things, and I've played those up for the language learning with the spelling words and stuff that just kind of shape things around. That's helped me out a lot.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for joining us
Thank you very much.
tonight, and good luck. Stay safe on your trip, on your journey back to Thailand, so you can see your friends and I wish you a very safe journey there. And I know we'll stay in touch, even though
Yeah.
technology is great. We'll stay in touch. And if anyone wants to kind of connect with Chris, he's in the group, in the Facebook group. He is also on all social media platforms. Do you want to give them your
Yeah.
handle?
I share the most progress videos on Instagram because that's a great community on Instagram. My Instagram tag is CD for my initials _ worldwide. Have you seen the movie Step Brothers? The best movie ever?
No, I have not.
Come on, with Will Ferrell?
I know it's Will Ferrell. I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, you should watch that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That yeah, it's a playoff of the movie Step Brothers. I was
Okay.
hoping you would get it, but
I know I never saw the movie, but I'll look it up.
yeah.
So
And yeah, CD _ worldwide. Yeah, and I would love to
worldwide.
anyone to that wants assistance with anything or asks any questions or just wants to talk. And I'd love to talk life and happiness. If you want to come to Thailand and visit me, I'm always up for visitors. And yeah, it's great.
So I really appreciate you for coming on and all of you for watching, for hanging out with us tonight. And again, join the group on Facebook if you have not yet. It's called Living with Audacious Confidence. I'm going to post this video in that group as well. And I just really want you guys, as you're looking forward into 2021, don't let anything hold you back. Don't let anything stop you. Keep moving forward, as Chris said.
And yeah, live with confidence and be confident with everything because you are going to be able to figure it out. Figure it out. You are all proud. We're all powerful, confident people that can figure things out. And the more opportunities we take, the better we become at figuring it out. And it will make our lives more exciting and more fulfilling.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Hang out for me a second. Let me close out the show and we'll chat with you. I'll chat with you in a minute.
Thank you, everyone.
So, that was Chris Dittrich here on Inspiring Stories of Triumph. And so I really do hope that you join us, join the group. If you can also subscribe to our Facebook channel. It is YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Alicia Khoury. I know it's a Sunday night and it's the last Sunday of the year. So stay safe, everybody, and never give up. We are living in very uncertain times. Some things are a little bit challenging, but I want you to, like Chris says, keep moving forward, keep seeing the good, keep seeing what you can do instead of focusing on what you cannot do or what you don't have, and really focus on what can I do next? What are the strengths I have? What are my abilities? And what can I continue to do moving forward? And as always, I love you and I hope to see you again soon. Next year is going to be phenomenal. So, again, if anyone wants me to interview them on this platform for inspiring stories. If you think you have an inspiring story, or you know someone who has an inspiring story of triumph, connect with me, Alicia360.com, and let's set up an interview so we can get your story out there. Until next time, this is Alicia Curry saying bye, and a happy, happy, happy New Year. Mwah.